my coffee. And left my dang cup outside. Oh, y'all. The wasps. I gotta give me some kind of wasp trap, baby. Because, baby, they is ready to go to battle, and I don't want to fight with them. I just want them to go on where they normally be, wherever that is, to their colonies, but not on my porch. Hey, y'all. Hola, hola. This is weight room. Let's try that. Hey, I guess I should turn the light on. Huh? And this look blurry, don't it? Well, damn. I think I always got some tissue close. Let's see how that do. Yeah, that was it. Hey, everybody. Good morning and afternoon. Now, the maintenance might knock on the door, because I got to get that light in my closet back on. But I done been lazy long enough, and my garbage disposal ain't working because I think I broke a plastic knife in here, and I normally do it myself, but it's way strong. And so I said, well, they get paid to do a job, even though I don't like people in my house, but we'll go ahead and just let them come and do their job. That's what they get paid for. Hey, y'all. Who was here for last night's class or got to go back and watch the rewatch? If you were here for last night's class, wasn't that pretty cool how they been playing in our face and we figured it out? Somebody just commented on the class that Europa was the melanated woman, Europe. And so maybe that's why when France sent us the Statue of Liberty, she was black originally. And the United said, we don't like niggas. Now we like them to work for us, but we ain't about to put no statue of no nigga a nigga female dog up in here. Because y'all know that's what they used to call it. Nigga bees. Mm-hmm. The walls are so bad on my porch. I was told hot water and down dishwashing liquid. Girl, I'm about to get me one of them traps. They got the little traps where you put like some tuna or something in there. Now, I'm worried about them other white little bugs, but we gonna figure it out. I'm not about to be running from no bugs. Now, I done already got okay with the carpenter bees. And I be letting the regular bees be around because they come up for my flowers. But then, Walsh, you ain't got no business over here. What you doing? If you ain't pollinating nothing, you need to go on. That part. That part. They said, nah, Liberty over here don't look like that. Her nose a little too wide. Her facial structure a little different. You gonna need to change that or we won't be paying for it. Or whatever the case. Hey, Pumpkin. Hey, Niecy Pooh. So, if you was here for last night's class, this morning, technically half and half, I buy walls from rating it goes far out, so you don't need to be close. Right, but I gotta get something where I'm not about to be spraying, because if I spray in that area, that's where my plants are, and I don't want all that on my plants. So I'm just gonna get the little, I've been looking. Yeah, so that they put the little bait in there, and then they go in there and they can't get out. They get in that solution and it kills them. That's what I need. Because I want my bees, and I don't really care about the carpenter bees because they fly close to my face. But the wasps have been in my hair. Like one was like right here today, like flying in my, and I looked up because I felt, you see something at the corner of your eye. I looked up, it's a wasp like right here. I said, oh no, y'all getting real close. Then, like I told y'all a couple of weeks ago, it was one in my hair, and I kept seeing my hair move, and I'm like, what the heck? Yeah, it was in my hair. So yeah, we're not gonna do that. We're not gonna do any of that. We're not. We're not gonna do that. Blocked. Do you hear me? I don't know parts of it. So yes, Isabel, they be in my hair. That you can't do that. And so I was like, okay, I'm gonna put my hair up. Well, they looking like hive. And then when it's down, I don't know, but I don't got time. Whatever. My son said, Mom, it's your vibrations. I said, well, I need them to vibrate somewhere else. I don't know why all of the flying wasp bees and carpenter bees, and they do. They be like right by me. No, 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 no. I don't do pests. I need you to go on that. Y'all can stay right here, but just don't be landing on my shoulder and stuff. I don't want none of that. And then I forgot they made them in the cameras too. So that's interesting. You know, I forgot there's cameras that are bugs. And they're all over my porch. And I seem to be the only one running from them because all my other neighbors, they don't have no, they ain't running. I don't hear nobody hurry up and slam their door or nothing. And they congregate on my porch. Even before the flowers, they congregate there. So there's a number of things I've been thinking about, but we're just going to move on. We're just going to move on. How those mosquitoes out in the middle of winter. Big ones too. I said, that's interesting. Paradise Show said it was like, oh, I didn't even know. I tried watching it. I gotta maybe get past the first show. Or it might not be time for me to watch it until next month or something. I don't know. But yeah. I've been thinking about a lot of different things. But it is what it is. Especially with them saying if you advocate for that young man, you could be charged with treason. So if you call out any of they wrong, you could be arrested. Did y'all see that? I saw a mosquito flying in my room. The way I screamed, I thought I saw a big boogeyman. Interesting. Do we talk about that though? You're not gonna be able to say nothing. They preparing us for that one man, ain't they? Good morning, Sarah. Hey, Miss Varner. I'm sorry, Vanna. Hey, TT. Hey, Auntie Judy. So what y'all think? They preparing us for that guy. Do you see it? Finally, I couldn't see you in the other place we go to. Interesting. It's getting very real. I was talking to one of my neighbors today, and I said, Handmaid's Tale. She said, oh my God, I was going to say that. The lady upstairs, she just moved in. I said, listen, I don't know if you have family or not, but I'm sorry. Not the lady. I don't know how to say it. They moved in upstairs, and I told them if they have family, that they need to tell their family to get what they need. I forgot, not a lady, but they. Another country banning repent, or you will be put in jail for 5 years. What other country? So there's another country ban. You can't talk about Jesus, or you gonna go to jail for 5 years. Well, they let me see a lot of y'all repost. So I have to go and look. A lot of y'all, almost none of y'all are in my FYP. I think it's not Britain because we knew about Britain. Or is it another place in Britain that's doing it too? Because we knew about Britain, Antoinette. That was like last week. But I think she's saying there's another country that's doing it too. If you are living in 2025 and you don't believe that we are at the end of time, in the rapture, whatever else, I saw one where it said up to 2 years, but I didn't see the one where they're saying 5, right? Well, folks, it's going to be following suit. I know your pastor might not have told you, but we in the tribulation. We head on into it. We head on into it. So, if you haven't prepped to not take the mark, you'll want to do that now. You'll start getting your mind ready to get your head chopped off or whatever it is it's going to be. And you're going to have to stay strong and endure until the end. But I guarantee you, God is going to come. Just not for the rapture. Jesus. Sorry, Dad. It's scary that all of these things are happening and you still got people saying, oh, I don't know what they be saying, a whole bunch of stuff that ain't true. Let's say that. Do y'all see how fast they shut down churches during COVID? Weren't they gonna arrest some pastors because they wouldn't shut their churches down? They was talking about arresting people that was going to church or something like that because they continuing to spread whatever else. They basically forced the churches to shut down. A lot of them. They were saying you can only have so many people there and this, that, and the other. You remember that? Called my granny on my mom's side the other day for a quick impromptu Bible study, and she fell asleep on the phone. I mean, I know she old, but God, dog. But what I tell you? Didn't I tell you every time I get on the phone with a person that goes to church, they're either sleepy, they go to sleep, they get real irritable and have to get off the phone, or they say that they're busy and there's something that they have to do. It's not ever any of the others. It's always those three. They get irritated and get off, or they say they got something to do. Well, I got something I got to do. I'll talk to you later. I'll call you back, and they never do. Have you seen that China is giving alternate social media platforms to Americans to use? Uh-uh. 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 Yeah. But we knew that no parcel was gonna be moving. And I'm gonna tell y'all, I'm not about to keep getting on new social media sites and stuff to try to keep up with it. I got Aaron Partners on here and the Midas Touch on here. And then we gonna be moving to our website shortly. So I ain't gonna be cause that's more ways. Like that man said the other day, they got 101 ways to track you on your phone. They know how fast you going, how often you go to the store, which friends you visit. All of that information is tracked. They know if it's gonna be Thursday or Wednesday. They know where you keep everything because we got apps that allow our location. They know what food you're buying, how often you ministrate, how many people ministrating. Like, they know everything. So slowly but surely, I'll be taking back certain things of mine and deleting a lot of things that are just sitting on my phone. If it's not an absolute have-to-have app, I probably won't have it anymore. Because that's several different ways that they're able to know what we are doing at any given moment. Can I tell y'all something? This might sound crazy, but being able to disconnect from the world is going to be a huge superpower. Because you know what? A lot of people get up because they got to go back for their family. And not knowing what's happening with their family drives them back into danger. And normally, they end up getting caught up with the family. Think about it. I gotta go back. Jimmy's back there. No, you're not listening. No, get off of me. Oh, okay. Well, you and Jimmy, please don't run back this way. In real life, if they don't want to pay attention, you're gonna have to do what you gotta do right now. And that sounds horrible to say, but think about why a lot of people end up getting messed up. Because the person that didn't want to listen is just. You cannot put everybody else in jeopardy because you want to have stuff your way. I already told his mom when I move. If not, bye. I'm trying to tell you. I'm not going to be trying to get in contact with you either. What's going on? Because then I'll be thinking you didn't sold me out to the people. So there's just a lot of things I've been thinking about. You said, yep, go to Jimmy and stay there. That part, don't bring Jimmy back to us because Jimmy didn't signed up with the other folks. My brother asked me if I still make TikToks. I told him no. And for that very reason. Sarah. And why you think a lot of our content about to come down, especially over here. We ain't making no change from it anyway. Might as well take it down. You hear me? Because he talking about social media people right now. So let me go on and just put up a class today. I might leave about 100 of them on there. But yeah, it's a lot of stuff about to go away. A whole bunch. Not make myself no easy target. You hear me? Mm-mm. Hey, sugar. You hear me? I'm not. No, and it's not about fear. It's about understanding what time we're in and the fact that you ain't going to be able to do everything you want to do right now. Great man season, that part. That part. Oh, wait, I'm trying to tell you. And the scary part about it is people don't really think this is serious. A lot of people, they making jokes about it and this, that, and the other, but absolutely nothing about not having food in the stores in August is funny. I changed my profiles on social media. That part, I've been telling my people, if you can't deny yourself now and way of living, what makes you think you're going to be able to deny the greatest challenge, denying the mark system? This. You said can't fix stubborn and stupid, that part. It's really crazy out there. I pray nothing happens. Yeah. Yeah. My neighbor hit me up about a garden. Fam won't listen, but others will. This part, I just talked to my neighbor upstairs about it. Just talked to my neighbor upstairs. 2 neighbors today, actually. Yeah. And my family, like, my neighbors is like, oh, okay, I need to get what now? Oh, okay. Okay. So, okay. All right. Yeah. Yeah. I didn't gave away a few plants of what you call them things? Brussels sprouts. I gave away a green and what's the name? I gave away a few seeds to my neighbors. I gave this neighbor behind, like back behind, gave him 2 or 3 plants. Hey, I'm trying. I mean, it ain't nothing but Brussels sprouts and greens, but you never know. Maybe that'll make them go get some other ones. The one lady, I did give her a couple of different seeds, like some tomatoes and things like that. Just put them all in a little bag. But yeah, I think I gave her some onions too. You know what I mean? Because a lot of people don't know what's going on. I'm trying to tell you, it's so many people, they don't have no idea. They just living life right now. And that's scary to me. Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm. But anyway, so back to our class last night. How many of y'all is a little perturbed at these people because they played in our face for so long and all they did was switch the name backwards? And so we didn't know where to look. And then when they named all of the places in Europe after the places in Egypt, right? Which we know the Phoenicians went over there and started it, so they just named it after the cities that were already in Egypt. We understand this. But I got my seeds and want to plant some in my mom's yard. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Which I think about that they played in our face, but I'm 45. And I've always heard about the Greek gods, and I always like that kind of stuff, even since I was little. I don't know if my dad used to watch it or what. But listen here. I just seen a bee or something. That must have been a bird, the shadow of it. They played in our face. Suez is Zeus. The Suez connection was wild. Yes. And then it makes everything else make sense, does it not? One simple word. And had Mr. Michael of never sent us this book, we might not have found it. Then to pick up this one, and they said, oh yeah, the Anunnaki and blah, 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 and they lived and blah, 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 and it's this. It's this, and this, and this, and this. And these people, and these guys, has everything to do with this. Crazy. And more books, but we just didn't bring them out. I'm very excited. I didn't get to do any more research last night because I went and had me some snacks. I took an avocado and mixed it with some of the chive cream cheese, and got me some turkey and some salami and made me some little sliders, and it was fire. I'm gonna have to give me another bag of those little cheese things. Definitely get me another bag of those. Excuse me. So did y'all get a chance to go and look up anything else, or for those of you that just saw the class, was there anything that stood out to you, or anything that clicked, or I was watching the replay, I was like, wow, my husband is into God Zeus and all of them, and they be right in our face. It was good. Okay. I said, not y'all done played in our face. And all of these rivers are the rivers that are right there. Same lines, what they do is, zoom in so you can't even really see what you're looking at. Or change the name, turn it backwards, move the letters. They do so much to hide it. Third grade, I was pulled out of class and chosen to study Greek mythology. Always stuck with me. Here we go. So then, do you all think that all of the stories about the Greek gods, remember when I was asking y'all how they track their bloodline if they never lived, right? How do you track a bloodline of people? So, remember we read about Nereus, right? And it said Nereus was Job's brother. Does that fit? The Nereids are Job's nieces. Does that fit? Mami Wata? And the marine kingdom that people in Africa and Jamaica and different islands are always talking about? If Job was the uncle to the Nereids, and we know that he lived in ancient Mesopotamia, then when we read about the Nereids in this book, we're reading about Job's nieces. But now that we know that the area of Zeus was not in Europe, but it was actually the Nile, and that area, excuse me, right there, that means when we go and read these stories, what is we reading? Could this possibly be a book of the rest of the stories of the Bible? But they hid them under mythology. Did we talk about this already? Hey, Day. We talked about how the myths the tales of the gods, sagas, and heroes. Do we see this symbol in ancient Mesopotamia? Do we? We see this symbol on our hospitals right now. It also looks like a phallus, which is crazy. And we know they are obsessed with this kind of stuff. But no, ain't this symbol on all kind of stuff right here? This is on the hospitals right now. Lord. Okay. Tell me what you see right here. What's that say? What's this say? Right there. Does that say the giant builder? Okay. Mimir. Mimir is Mamir. Remember when we read the story of Abraham? And when they came to get him, and he was under the oak of Mamre? Mamre? Mimir is the same place. Mamre or Mamre and Mimir is the same place. They just changed the letters from Mamre to Mimir. Hello? Like I always think of Thor's hammer. Okay. Okay. Listen now. Odin seeks wisdom from Mimir. Mamir or Memri or Mamri, right? However you say it. Abraham lived there, and there's a few other people that lived in Mamir as well. And so if he was a patriarch, the oak of Mamir. Remember this page? Mimir's realm. Remember, listen now. Region of torture below the realm of Nephil. And remember, hey Queen, okay? It says between these regions lay Mimir's land, where besides the wise old giant, there dwelt many mighty beings, among whom were Night, the ancient mother, Bright Day, and Deling, the elf of dawn, and Blase Skip. Now we know the AE, like Asir, that's from the Egyptians. Do we agree the AE? Like the Egyptian C used to be, I don't know how they say it, but y'all know it's the AE silent sound, whatever. Matter of fact, what old boy just named his son, the guy, right? And up on this thing, a lot of everything has AE in front of it. A lot of the waters, a lot of the places they have AE. Mm-hmm. Uh-huh. You said you were trying to remember the oak scripture references. Okay. So look it now. It says, next below came Midgard, the world of men, with the river ocean around it, beyond the ocean on the same plain. Jotunheim, the upper giant world. Okay? We know that Jotun, I think Jotun was one of Nimrod's sons. If I'm not mistaken, he was like one of Nimrod's sons, or he was somebody's son. Jotun is mentioned in the Bible, or Jotun. They put a Heim on the end of it, but Jotun is mentioned in the Book of Og as one of the giants that fought in the 100,000. Jotun is king. Interesting. Yeah. Okay. So it says, far below these stretch the underworld, vast compared with the regions above it, and containing 4 of the 9 worlds. In the north was the Nephilim, or the Nephal, the lower giant world, cold, dark, and misty. In the south of Erd, U-R-D, or and her 2 sisters ruled over the kingdoms of the dead. Between these 2 regions lay Mimir's land, where besides the wise old giant there dwelt many beings, among whom were Night, the ancient mother, and bright Day, and Delling, and the elf of dawn. Did they play in our face? Oh, y'all think so? Yeah. Joktan, son of Eber. Okay, thank you. Joktan, son of Eber. But it's a Jotun too. I don't know if I'm saying it right. Joktan, and there's also, okay, Jotham. Okay, son of Gideon. Okay, so I know they play with the names, but I know he's listed. He's listed in there. You said this reminds me of a book, Elfstones of Shannara. I don't know what that is. Thank you, Rika. So in the Eddas, hey, Michelle, in the Eddas, it says that the Nephilim lived close to Mimir. Okay? They lived close to Mimir. Abraham and Lot, the guy was a friend of Tolkien from Lord of the Rings. Interesting. Are y'all seeing it? So, what if they hid? What if they hid the Wars of the Lord, the book that I've been looking for? Because I bought a Wars of the Lord, but it was kind of The Wars of the Lord were the wars between the people that ended up being the Hebrew Israelites, or the Hebrews, and all of the races of giants, right? Where do we always read about the giants going against the little people? Because they tell us they went against giants, but they never give us the stories about the giants in the Bible, right? And seeing as how they were great keepers of books as well, where would we go to find those opposite stories? Well, what if they just hid them in mythology? Will we know for a fact that they did? So are all the giant wars and the wars that we're reading about, if we can know those people's names, then we can actually put together our Bible and these stories and know what happened as a whole and not just told from a Christian point of view, right? Because the story's got to be somewhere. Because back then everybody had a scribe, because they wanted their name to go on forever, and they wanted the generations to know, what great exploits they did and stuff. So everybody has some kind of, whether it be a storyteller, a scribe, the village historian. That would be amazing to be able to have a complete version of everything in one place. I think we do, sister. I think we just didn't know where to look. Because this book that Mr. Michael sent me last week or this week literally told us that Suez, the Gulf of Suez, like literally, I was reading it and I'm like, that's Zeus backwards. Then I started going and looking at the books that we got. They played in our face the whole time. But I told y'all, I said, they over there. You don't see them over there in Europe digging up nothing for real. You don't. They don't really. Archaeologists state it at any given time it's probably 2,000-3,000 different archaeological digs in ancient Mesopotamia, in Syria, in Palestine, in Lebanon, all around that area, because they know who lived there. In Egypt, these are the places that have been ransacked, and they got new digs going on right now. Well, if Egyptians and different melanated peoples have lived there and did not go digging, why are you? They already know what's there. All them Arab people and the Egyptians that have lived there for years prior to other folks. And they change the names and they tell us what they think. So just like when we were looking, I know that giants was alive when Joseph was in Egypt. We know this for a fact, okay? And so they say that the Egyptian man put on the head of a jackal. No, it was a dog-faced man. Just like they said the lady put on a snake mask, but you don't see no head or nothing. So what they do is they show us the snake on top of the headpiece. But in the Egyptian literature, it was a snake face on a human body. A snake head, and then the rest was human. And there was hair coming out the back. Locks, to be exact. So they tell us what to see, and then we don't look for nothing else. But if God said that humans spread out all over the earth, that in the seventh generation from Adam, that this is what happened, where's the people's stories at? Because we look, that's what Medusa really looked like. Exactly. 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 Because it shows us right there on the hieroglyphs that it was a whole snake face. It was not a snake headdress. It was a whole snake face connected to a body. You just walking around. You didn't did a transplant of a snake head onto a human body? I don't think so. But if all they have to do is change Suez to Zeus, or Maccabees to Maccabees, or Chus to from Cush to Chus, it shows that you. It shows you that at the Luxor Hotel in Vegas as well. Oh, didn't know. And that's funny, because in this lovely book we got here, sister, it might be on another map. I think it's on one of the other maps. Oh, it might be in this book. Hold on. I think it's in this book. It's on one of these. I just saw Luxor on one of these maps. Underground people is a real thing. Yeah. I don't know which one of these books I was looking in, but it showed Luxor. It might. Hold on, y'all. I might just be moving too fast. I literally just saw Luxor. And I don't know which one of these books it's in. I don't know which one. It might be in this Egypt book, but Luxor was on one of the maps that was right there in the area. So you got to think about it, right? What I'm looking at on this map right here is Memir or Memri, however you say this, is right by the Moabites and the Ammonites, and it's a little up from God. It's actually like right around the Gaza Strip, which is exactly where he trying to get to. It's in between Jerusalem and the Gaza Strip. There was a Luxor temple in Egypt. Yes, yes. But that's what I'm telling y'all. Like when I say they've been playing in our face, they've been playing in our face. It shows you Mount Hermon on here. Everything. Somebody just put something. Elon's name means oak tree. Okay, maybe I said it. I was looking to see if one of y'all said it. Could this be where they was at, where the island where they was completely surrounded with water, with a half lion and half human statue? What happened? Look at this. This cypress completely surrounded with water. Also, look. I believe this is where the soldier that was sit outside of what's his name? Jesus' tomb. I think he was from somewhere up here. Where where they sent the centaurs to. This why they don't want us to have no books. And it's like, it's built like a pyramid. What's built like a pyramid, Punky? Interesting. Excuse me. The Minotaur is from Crete. Okay. The centaur Yeah. Did I say Minotaur? I'm sorry. I meant the Centaur. Centaur. Remember, remember the soldiers that stood outside. They called him a centurion, but when we looked it up, he was from where the land where the centaurs are. And I said it makes sense if they have a it makes sense if they have a demigod or a mythical being. Um, where is my book? What the heck? Oh, there it is. I'm sorry, not a centaur, a satyr. A satyr, right? So when I was looking into, because his name was Patronus, right? He was either a centaur or whatever, but it reminds me of the Percy Jackson deal. Oh, Luxor is a black pyramid here in Vegas. Lots of the symbols, but I haven't learned translations yet. Interesting. Well, take some pictures and send them to us, please, when you get a chance. I think my sister's dad works at the Luxor. I think he might work there. But remember we looked at and where that soldier came from, the island that he came from, the centaurs was there or satyrs was there, one of the two. And so remember I was telling y'all, for God to send an angel, not his name was Patron, that part, Petronius. Yeah. And so he was from whatever island he was from as a Roman soldier or whatever it was. Right. He was from the isle where the centaurs or the satyrs was from. I believe it was the centaurs. Where whatever island, that's what I was saying about the pyramid being in Vegas and the hybrid statue circle. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Okay. Sorry, baby, I didn't see it. You said the satyrs are from where Dionysus is from. Interesting. Okay. Well, whatever it is, the soldier that sat outside, um, you had to look it up. A centaur is the horse, a satyr is the goat. And remember, they are the people that told the stories and the poems, satire, and that whole thing. Satirical poems and all of this old stuff, whatever, it comes from the satyrs. And think about it, they always had some type of flute instrument, fiddle or something, and they would lull the people to sleep. Oh, you all right, baby. It's okay. I just didn't know I'm reading several comments and I might have missed part of it with the flutes in their hands. This is where the Pied Piper stories come from. And they take off with your children or your wife. And they're very lustful creatures. Yeah, yeah. But I know that the centurion soldier, oh, like on the magicians. Yes, exactly. Amber, whatever they name, whatever Amber and whatever his brother's name. Yeah, them asking him to drink his love milk and all that. Oh, not for no power. I ain't gonna be able to do it. Mm-mm. Not for nothing else either. Moving on. So yeah, that. But do you see how when they got into fillery, they were their real selves? What day? You said the Pied Piper drove the snakes out of Ireland. No, oh, out of Ireland. You're right. They sure did. Uh huh. Interesting. I see you laughing. No, ain't gonna be none of that. All right. So The magicians, they had a lot of symbols and other hidden meanings. Yeah. All of it is not hidden. It ain't hidden. It's a magic show. Once they crossed the threshold to foolery, right? They true selves came out just like in Percy Jackson. Well, wouldn't it make sense that they would have a magical being guarding Jesus's tomb? And on our side, we see them as one way. And look, even in evil, what did they show us in evil? What did they show us in evil? The Chronicles of Narnia. Yep. Chronicles of Narnia too. But think about what they and evil is a lot more updated. It's newer. But there were some people that could see and smell who the boss really was, that he wasn't even human, that he was shapeshifting into a human. Y'all remember? But he was a big old satyr too, a goat man or whatever you want to call it. Remember? And he was massive. Basically, the people who could see in a spirit, seeing what they truly look like. The boss was demonic, but was human to those not spiritual. I just watched a video today of an African. Matter of fact, let me go get mine. It's already in here. Here we go. Just today.
Our stress life.
Listen, I gotta run to the bathroom.
That we see is 100% human. There are some people that are not 100% human. There are some people that are hybrid. There are people who have entered into covenant with the kingdom of darkness and they have had children that God forbid us to have. So my mom took me to a single-sex school, and that's where I met that friend that I spoke about in some documentary, who was a sorcerer, and the uncle had initiated him. The uncle of that lady, he had entered into a covenant with the Marine Kingdom, and he dedicated her there, and she had children in the Marine Kingdom. This girl, whenever I would go to the beach, I found out that she knew the DJs knew her, and she introduced me to one Kenyan celebrity who is also not 100% human. Yeah, and he's popular, but he's not talented. His music is in the millions of views, but when you listen to his music, it doesn't make sense. People have been hearing of stories of those things at the coast, people that half fish, half human, and they think it's just stories, but these things are real. These beings exist. I think the enemy had wired me to promote the other agenda, the homosexuality agenda. Those days I was like a tomboy. I just started wearing heels and dresses after giving my life to Jesus. They started now taking me to that life of partying, going to clubs. I would see that girl going out with men, coming back, and she would come back and laugh and say, I have killed that one. He doesn't know he's enjoying, he doesn't know he's dead. He's a dead walking person. There are times when people would die. They wake up and find bodies floating on that beach. That is sacrifice. There are portals on Lake Victoria. There is a time, even on that same lake, where a boat capsized and hundreds of people died.
Those are gates.
The girls who are looking for rich men, if you don't know the source of that wealth, then don't be so excited. You might be the sacrifice. And then my mind was not erased. That's what I thank God for, because they have the ability of erasing and either making somebody to lose their mind or to erase what they saw. But God has preserved that knowledge so that He can help.
Now, I just was listening to like Summer Walker's song, one of the young girls, and she was talking about, she wanted her, who seen I Like Cartier's song? That ain't Summer Walker. Moni, what's her name? Money Long. In one of her songs, she talks about having her memory erased. And what did y'all girl from Wicked just say? On national TV when they was interviewing her, She talked about what they did, what to her memory. We just seen it in Blink Twice. I know she is. I know she is. Didn't Ariana Grande? Yeah, she just did a video after the movie was, or for the, and she was talking about they erased her memory. Yeah, and then Money Long. I think that's who sing that song. Yeah, she said they erased it. She said that she looks like a demon. It's sucking the life out of her. Girl, yeah. You don't have the height. Like, yeah, they give up. Listen, baby, that's why I'm telling you. When folks used to be trying to invite me places I did not go, they erasing comments again too. I saw that because now we only be having like 5 comments, 2, and I know y'all being commented in here, and it should be in the chat. No comments. Mm-hmm. Cynthia too. Yep, her too. But this is the thing, y'all. Demons are parasites. So does that not make sense to you? If a demon is a parasite, it makes sense. Think about it. Chris Brown, Michael Jackson. No? Michael Jackson was skinny. Michael Jackson used to be thick. He used to have some weight on him. You said that was happening to you? Oh, honey, we didn't all been there. It's a new thing they're doing in Hollywood, but I think it's a cover up. Because they know, yeah. Literally. Literally. It's somebody else they talking about real skinny and stuff too. Mm-hmm. So y'all going through this and just getting back to what we doing right here. When the Bible tells us that we never know when we have entertained an angel, you know what I mean? And the spiritual forces and ooh, does this not give a new meaning to don't be fooled by what you see? Interesting, Tabitha. I believe it. I believe it. Think about this. God says, don't judge the outside, judge the spirit. Because he knew that we have other beings that could transform. And we know this even from just reading the book of Job, because his brother was Nereus. But it said Nereus came on land to see. But Nereus is a sea god. You can go look him up, and he's a nigga. He looked just like the dudes in Persia. Do he not? He got on the same old lady hat that all the old women in church, black churches, be wearing, with that jewel in the front with the lines on it. When they don't, they just put their little thing on, put that on, and put some earrings on. Y'all know the one I'm talking about, the ones Nick Cannon be wearing. Moving on. He got that same hat on. Mm-hmm. He do. The ones that the mothers be wearing. For real. You seen it. Y'all seen it y'all own self. He got every color. Sparkly ones. The ones with, he got just like the mothers. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Sure do. So I think that the rest of our stories have been right in front of us this whole time, and I've been saying that. But God has given me more pieces, and it's interesting. Oh, Queen, you seen it. You know they be, yep. And some is embroidered. I'm trying to tell you, baby, you be fashionable, be church mother fly, honey, all the time. But Nereus was wearing that hat too. So if Nereus can come on land and walk inland and then go back into the water, and he is the father of the Nereids. So y'all, the land of the Titans was What if it was Anu and not Anus for Uranus? What if it was and Anu? The the Anunnaki from Huh? Cause Anu is a god, is he not? And they say he came from the stars. No, he's a part of the Anunnaki. When we visited Cyprus, we weren't allowed to go into the towns. We were only allowed to shop at the port. I wonder why, but I'm starting to understand. Auntie, no! Y'all couldn't go. Ooh, Auntie. And that beautiful, crazy picture you sent me, that's from Cyprus. Oh, Auntie. Auntie, if y'all got kids, move them. Oh. I hid it in one of the books just in case one of my grandkids came in here. Oh, there it goes. Uh-oh. Oh, no, this is from Athens. This from Athens. Now, I'm about to tell you what's real, real crazy. Y'all see his face? Y'all see his face, right? Look clearly. Look at his nose. Look at his lips. And I ain't gonna lie, I done seen a black body like this, babe. Girl, cause it go all the way past his navel. I'm gonna tell you that. Moving on. Yeah. So over here, crazy, crazy. You got a whole mushroom. Where is the book that I'm looking? Listen, he said, get my good side. Wait, right. Auntie sent me that. Don't think Auntie brought that back from another country. Don't come for me. Do not come for me. Auntie brought that back to me from another country. Did. She did. No. Now let me show you something. And you tell me what you. I cannot be blamed for what is on that paper. I cannot. But I was surprised to see it. Okay, so look at their faces. See this dude right here? What about this guy? Does that look similar? Let's keep Let's see if we can find another. Oh, these is the hats I was telling y'all about that should have been on y'all apes. Ain't this the hat that the apes was wearing in Planet of the Apes? That's the hat I was telling y'all to look for. This one. That is the sentiment all over the Grecian island. A bunch of freaks like the real Freaknik. A king of Mitanni, the country on the upper reaches of the Tigris and Euphrates, which adjoined Hittite territory and which had strong affinities with the Hurrians. He wears the typical robe with padded edge draped over one shoulder only. The people of Mitanni were, however, not always hostile to the Egyptians. Many a time their kings sent their daughters to Egypt as brides for the pharaoh. The famous queen Nefertiti, a wife of Akhenaten, the Sun King, was probably one of these princesses of Mitanni. Do me a favor. Do me a favor. Look at their hair. Now, don't this look like Joseph's brothers? These is the same dudes we just saw. The same faces. Mm. But Moses fled from the face of Pharaoh and dwelt in the land of Midian. Mm. Now, tell me what you see in this picture. This is a regular human. Regular human. Do you see this? Cut out a rock. This is a regular human. Does he look like a grasshopper to them? This is a regular human. Look at those guys. So when it says they went into Canaan and they look like grasshoppers, the show Mummies Unwrapped episode, changing the mummy of Moses, saying King and Pharaoh, I could not use Moses. I believe it. I do believe that. I do. See, it's a lot of pictures in here that they done took out of the other places. I'm so happy. Thank you, Mr. Michael, so much for sending me this book. I ain't got to get in here like I want to. You see, they took his nose off too. Look. Ain't this Coneheads? They told us in the movie Coneheads too. That's why I can't see y'all comments. Mitanni king was one of them, pleading with Egypt for help. Pharaoh was Akhenaten after the Exodus. Interesting. Is that not a conehead? Ain't that what they told us the coneheads look like? And now that we know, I gotta get through this book. What y'all think she doing? proof that they grave rob us. Y'all just put the grave rob and stuff all over the place. Don't even care to tell everybody y'all stealing. It's nuts. What image did Trump put on his Truth Social? I don't know. I have no idea. Orange has two chronicles. The second chronicles in his Bible. Okay, but think right. But he called this time we in right now what? And then he had them do a really bad AI generated picture of him, and it was what? Him as a what? And it says, "Long live the king." He's already on a coin. Okay, so can I read this? He's calling this the golden age. And y'all know I ain't never read this before, but I did just see something interesting and it just made me think about it because he's calling this the golden age. So let's look. It says, "And afterward they desired a king, and God gave unto them Saul, the son of Cis." Acts 13 and 21. It was in the years around 1000 BC that Israel's material fortunes reached their zenith. These were the days of Saul, David, and Solomon. Striking, controversial personalities who, within a few decades, made Israel into a strong nation of considerable influence and importance in the ancient world. With two generations, the Confederation of 12 tribes, which had been in the first instance based on a common religious allegiance, blossomed into a full-grown monarchy with undreamt of economic prosperity. It was it was the danger of Philistine expansion from the coastal plain into the hill country that compelled the tribes to unite under one king. The example of their neighbors, Edom, Moab, and Ammon, who had already become kingdoms, was also not without its own influence. The greatest achievement of the first king, Saul, was the expulsion of the Philistines from the hills. What did he come into office doing? What did he come into office doing? Day one, he started expelling people from the country. Did he not? We got a new word for it. So first order of business, when Saul became king, he put all the giants out of the mountains. Sound familiar? He also united certain groups of people to go against the Philistines. Is Trump not going against the Philistines right now? In the golden age, the same way that King Saul did at that time? He's trying to expel the Palestinians out of their land, is he not? He ain't even been in office 4 months. Not only is he trying to expel them from their space, he's trying to get rid of people from here and sending them away somewhere else. So the first golden age is when Saul was there, and David and Solomon, and he got rid of certain people that were around where he lived at and in his areas. Okay, they called them barbarians. Okay. It says David made it his aims so to circumscribe, I'm sorry, y'all, both their power and their territory, that they would never again become serious rivals. Interesting. So David made it his aim to take their power and their territory. With subjugation of the Philistines and later of the Edomites, Moabites, Ammonites, and Syrians, Israel vastly extended her frontiers and became a small scale empire embracing subject nations, which is what he's trying to do right now. The creation of a new capital at Jerusalem on the site of the captured Jebusite fortress destroyed the individual identity of the tribes and imposed heavy burdens on the whole of the people. Do y'all feel like he's putting heavy burdens on us? And they taking folks' land too. And he's basically telling anybody that don't join with him, we gonna run you over. So even in that, him saying the golden age, the golden age, the golden age, God waits until now to send us the book so we can know exactly what the plan is. And literally he's following it to a T, which is really, really crazy. Interesting. It says this unique portrait of Jehu, the army commander who was elected king in 845 BC, has been preserved on an Assyrian relief. It is an enlargement from the famous black obelisk of Shalmaneser III from Nimrud. It says this was commanded of the newly elected King Jehu to exterminate the house of Ahab, which had gone over to the worship of Baal. What the heck? It says, so they took King Ahab's sons and slew 70 persons and put their heads in baskets and sent them to Jezreel. The counting of heads of enemy dead on this Assyrian relief illustrates vividly the gruesome biblical narrative. Okay, so hold on, y'all. Look at this. First of all, what kind of hair do these niggas have? What is that? Baby, in the 90s, I could have went in any hair salon. Matter of fact, they just brought it back right now. Please tell me what's going on with their hair. Please. Do you see it? You see it. Please tell me you see their hair. What's that? Oh, what is that? Before I show y'all this basket with these heads in it, please tell me what hairstyle that is. I'm a hairstylist. I know when I see it. No, baby. Look again. Right here. Look at their hair. No. Finger waves. Finger waves. Finger waves. Them is finger waves, babe. Them is finger waves. They got finger waves down, and then it look like some beads in the back. I know niggas that'll get finger waves with some beads in the back right now. Or have a curl in the back right now. Baby, them is finger waves. You can see the waves coming down on their face. If you've been to beauty school, you know. Now, look at them heads in the baskets. They definitely got French braids. And it looked like some zigzag braids at that. Them is heads in the basket and locks. And look like hands. Look at the heads in the basket down here at the bottom. Them is... Yep, them is finger wet, and them is braids at the back. They sure do got some cornrows and locks. Bangs for cornrows or finger waves. In a mummy movie, the king's wife had the same style with beads. In the fight scene, interesting, as Jehu was anointed to get rid of all of them, because the king was married to Jezebel and was very wicked. This is why they have these books. Baby, when black babies come out, honey, first thing we doing is a C shape. Even if you don't know what a C shape and a shape is, you be doing it when you be combing your baby hair, and then you'll comb this little part back right there and be like, oh, my baby hair is so wavy. You don't even know it's natural for us to comb to the direction of the curl, and then if it go like that, we swoop it back. We call it a placenta perm. Uh-huh. Baby, brush it down and let it and do that. We still doing edges now. Baby, it is in us, not on us. Listen here. Wow. It says that lie upon beds of ivory and stretch themselves upon their couches in Amos. Ivory plaques, often inlaid with gold and precious stones, decorated with cherubs and religious motifs of foreign origin, have been found by the hundreds at Megiddo and Samaria. They testify to the luxury and extravagance of the upper classes in Israel in this first half of the 8th century BC, against which the prophet Amos thundered in vain. You said men wear stocking caps and too and get waves. Yep, they do. I had them when I was younger, girl. Did. And this is the Bible as history. Warriors from Persia. Hello. It says the new masters of the ancient world belong to a particularly handsome race. Oops, they still do. Here are the heads of two gentlemen in waiting from the royal household of Perseopolis. Perseopolis. Their beards are carefully arranged into little curls in Persian fashion. Is that what happened? Or do they just naturally have that beautifully curly beard like that and that thick, pretty hair? Ooh, that when it's dry, it look a little afro, but as soon as some water hit it, you be like, oh, you got some nice hair. Let me see. And they beards be all curly and soft. You said what? And it just curls up on its own. They don't gotta do nothing to it. It just be curly. You said the Persians were a particularly handsome race. Interesting. And he was an Achaemenid. I'm about to get in this book, y'all. Oh, daughter of the Chaldeans. They got the tomb on Cyrus. They know where all, I told y'all they know where all this stuff is. Mm. Persepolis. Tell me this don't look like what they be trying to say Rome was. This is the real Persepolis right here. That was in Persia. I did, D. Y'all see that? That's crazy. Anyway, Persians and Medes, descendants of Japheth. Jezebel was a Phoenician princess from Tyre. Also Japheth. Yeah, yeah, yeah. But you got to think Japheth was still black. His descendants went up there, but when he got off the boat, he was still black. Black people can have white children. Light skinned folks, albinos, they're like. But when he got off the boat, he was a black man. They just went on up into the colder regions and nature took a hold. You don't get no sun, your skin just keep getting lighter and lighter. You stay in the cold longer, your nose gets skinnier. Your hair starts to get stringy because our hair holds heat because of the coil. So then your hair starts to straighten and loosen out so you don't die. It also, your nose closes up because in Africa you need a wider nose because it's hot to cool your brain, and in colder regions you need smaller holes, almost slits, because too much cold air is gonna freeze your brain. hmm That's why hair grows down over the shoulders and things like that. You said some of us had the straight hair. Arms messed up our hair. Yeah, I'm not saying that we weren't born with straight hair. I'm just saying that evolution to what we see now, where you can see through the scalp. You know what I'm talking about. That it happens over time. hmm It does. It happens with animals and everything. Asian folks, they said the reason they yellow is because of where they live, and then also what they eat. So they didn't leave Africa looking like that. Do you agree? This is why a lot of Asian people have certain Africans and Asian people have the same last name. Was it Japanese folks or whatever? I don't know which families, but there are certain African countries that have the same name as the people in Asia. And it wasn't because they came and invaded. Because if you look at the African people, it says that they're indigenous tribes and they've been there forever and they look just like the Asians over there, they just not light skinned. So as they traveled out of Africa and moved to places where they were only eating fish and not getting as much sun as they got in Africa and all of those things, their bodies and their facial structures changed. And then with invading armies and whatever else. But yeah, yeah. So pretty interesting. I say get your books out and go looking because I'm going to do that today. I am. I wanted to get back in. I didn't get a chance to last night because I got some calls when I got off, yesterday in the evening, and then I went to sleep and was so forth. So I didn't get evolution right. Well, yeah, kind of. It's more like adaptation than I would say evolve. But what is it when they I can't think of the word. We have eyes like the dark Asians. Some of the first dynasties were black folks. most all dynasties first was black. It ain't one race of people that the Etruscans, the Boeotians or the Boeotians, all of these, just used to know. When she worked in a nail shop I used to go to years ago, straight black Asian, right, right. My little friend here, you would not know. If you looked at him, like, and he had a hat on, I said, "Are you like Filipino? You got that in you?" And looked at a picture of his daddy. Daddy looked Filipino too. They right from down south, baby. Generations and generations, baby. They short stature, smile like Asians and everything. I ain't gonna say short stature, but you know how Asians have that small build. His build is exactly like that, and he looks like he's like mixed with Filipino or something like that, but he's not full. Mama and daddy black. Yeah, is this one here named China, and you couldn't tell she wasn't black? Exactly, exactly. Yep. I got a little cousin, her, and if her mama and her, right, baby, you could not. Actually, it's all three. It's the mama, the grandma, and now her daughter. You would swear up and down they was mixed, and they not. Both her parents is black. But baby, when I tell you all you see is an Asian woman just with brown skin, I'm talking about take out the skin and it's just a Chinese or a Japanese lady, Vietnamese, whatever. You put the skin back on, she your sister in real life. Yeah. So I don't know. I want to keep looking and I want to keep reading and I want to get in here and see. So we're gonna see what else I can find and get some pieces put together. Cause even with this thing about the golden age, that got my toes wiggling right now because I want to go through and look and see what I was going on in. But it looks like he's following a few playbooks, not just Hitler's. He might be following Saul's and them playbooks too, which makes sense because the devil is in Israel right now, and he was around for what was doing. He was probably part of the problem with some of the stuff that was going on. So he's always gonna take what God did and flip it or try to and make himself holy or whatever else it is. So I can see. Okay, Miss Garcia. All right. My babies are Filipino, but only my little one has the features. Interesting. Yeah. It's funny because my daughter sent me a picture of her dad today. She was like, "Is this him when he was a baby?" I said, "Do you see that beautiful hair?" She said, "Dang, mom, your jeans is only kicking in today. Like right now." Petty tail. Since we talk about this, I just had this conversation with my daughter today because y'all know she mixed. And she sent me this. Well, I ain't going to show y'all a picture because that'll be telling too much business. But listen, you see, she said, "Dang, mom, your jeans just now fighting back." Petty tail. We just had this conversation at 10:45 today. Cause she sent me a picture of her daddy, straight Mexican. You hear me? Curly, big curly. She said, "Dang, mom, your jeans is just like." Be quiet, girl. I said, "You pretty. I mean, you petty." I told you that lady when I first had my daughter. She said, "Tu baby, tu baby." Yes, tu baby, and you about to get elbowed in your throat if you don't get away from my baby. She said, "Tu baby, tu baby." Yeah, she mine. Going on somewhere now. Going on. And this is in Arizona when they was snatching kids from the East Valley right out their mama's carts at a Walmart, baby. I'm not the one. You gonna need to find a different mama to snatch her baby because you will lose your life today. I promise you gonna lose your life today. You get on back from here. Listen, I told that lady in the cause you got me messed up this baby, but after we left, I knew she was fast. You hear me? If I was a little nervous, cause she was the first baby I ever let go to the nursery, but she had my band on, so you know. But yeah, she looked like a little Mexican boy for like the first probably 4 months of her life. When she hit about 6 months, her hair started to curl up just a little bit. Mm-hmm. You said I was asked for my son if I was a nanny. Yeah, pretty much. They used to do that to me with my chocolate baby. They used to always ask me, was I her auntie? I said no. All of them is mine. I got two. My sons are half Mexican, but I have Asian eyes, so people always ask me, what are they? One son looks Hawaiian, right? That's why I have my baby tied to my chest 24/7 because yeah, this is my baby girl. I'm trying to tell you. Girl, my friend's mom is white and she is white, but her sister looks Mexican. They went to Mexico and some lady claimed they kidnapped her from the girl. Wow. It be real. That's what they do. Me and my daughter looks more black, and when I come to their school, they ask, "Is that your mom?" Yeah, yeah. But they do that with my chocolate daughter. With my chocolate baby, they swear up and down I'm not her mama. And then when I go with my other one, they really don't think my son is probably the only one they'll give me. You hear me? My son was the only baby born with hair. My son is black and white. He looked like he was Chinese as an infant. Yep. Yep. We can spit whatever it is, however it works. That's what happens. Yeah, the genes is there. They is. I got a project I'm working on, so I'm excited about it. I think I'm Hawaiian and Samoan. I'm always being called a swollen Mexican. Hilarious. So going back through this real quick, y'all. What do y'all think about all that we've been looking into? And it's just a deeper. It feels good to be able to go deeper because now I really want to get out all my books and go read all of the stories. That's what I'm on now. I want to get this book out, that gold one, seeing as how I know that anything about Zeus is about Egypt for the most part in that area. Going to read the stories in our the gold book that we have will basically be telling us about the wars and stuff and the people that was fighting against each other in all of the wars that we read about, like in our with the Hittites and all of them, the wars that we don't get to hear about. We knew that there was wars, but we didn't actually get to know what happened. Like I said, these people was fighting against these people. Well, they had to have stories. We talked about this, but I think they in here. And even with the Norse mythology and stuff, just going through it now, reading the stories, it might pop up off the page to us. Do y'all think so? Because during these times, there was beings that was living that was hybrid. Prior to the flood and even after the flood, they started to do the same things again. Now they told us that they put on headdresses, but do we know that that's not the truth? And the reason even now in today, just this year, that makes sense is because they're making human animal hybrid people right now in Japan. So if they could put those massive coils underneath the pyramids and hide them for years, what else has been hiding? And ain't it always when somebody stumble into some kind of cave or some type of crazy place that they find all the beings, worlds that we were told were mythical, and they find out they're real? I have a book series that goes over Egyptian, Norse, Indian, Greek, Chinese, and Celtic mythology. Interesting. Interesting. Is it that one? We got the Celtic, the African, the Greeks. We got Japanese, Persian, Native American, swords, and the monster. Hold on though. Did y'all see this? And then I'm gonna go.
Absolutely.
They said this is under what's supposed to be a mountain. Listen. This is, they said, why is this mountain hollow? The mountain builders? Uh-huh. Or giant made. Because they just stumble into them. And we know from all of the old buildings that they'll build on top of some stuff and act like it ain't even there. And then when people be calling about hearing voices and seeing beings in these places, they're like, oh no, it's just we built on top of ancient giant burial grounds and stuff. So yeah, you gonna see some stuff. Yeah, yeah. So with that, I'm gonna let y'all go, and hopefully y'all get looking. Go read some of your mythology stories to see if they stand out about any biblical stories or names. This is where we at right now. Unless y'all want to go somewhere else and then go where you gonna go. I ain't telling nobody what to do, but I do want to get in here because it's like a lot of the Bible is missing, and I want the other pieces. Yeah, like the giant's house and the house of David. Exactly. 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 Because if these beings is about to come out, I need to know where they was at. I need to know where they've been living. I need to know what's going on. And a lot of our leaders, right, are taking on their dad's spirits right now. We know this. So it's a little spooky what we could see possibly shortly. And I want to get my mind together for it. I need to understand because they keep telling us what ain't real. And God said our hearts is going to be given out with fear for the things that's going to come out of the earth. Okay, what's coming out the earth? I need to get my life together. I need to get my mind together because, nigga, if I see a satyr, what you gonna do if you see a satyr? What you gonna do if you see a half man, half horse? You cannot tell me that you just gonna be so intrigued. You gonna be scared. And what if they don't? They're not beautiful. What if they're scary with those mouths that got all the teeth in them and all of that? Because they was monsters too. They wasn't just all beautiful galloping with their hair, baby. They was something to be reckoned with. And I believe that's why our government is trying to get over in there because they know what's in the hills. You hear me? You said you're gonna be running this part. This part. I'm scared. And I don't care what nobody say. I'm not fearful. I'm scared. Listen. Interesting. Yep. So I love y'all. I'm about to go. I shall talk to y'all later. I'm gonna go looking and I'm gonna see what I find. Okay? Y'all all right with that? And I want y'all to go look into, if you can, pull out your Bible, and when it starts talking about the wars, I know that's in the beginning of the Bible. Look up the names, look up where they said they went. Before we go, I looked up Europa, and it's a planet they say they will be they will be testing to see if life can live on that planet. Interesting. So there's a Europa planet, and then we have actual Europe. Interesting. So maybe that's where the angels came from, that went to that area, or they named it after their. Okay, I like it. Come on, Nisi Poo. That's why Auntie about to get her stuff. I'm about to get my stuff and act like a kid. Get in the middle of the floor. I got another project I'm working on too. That's probably why they make these creatures out to be nice. So on movies, we will be more easily. Baby, I'm not ever gonna be happy with none of them. I seen too many of them in my dreams. Found it on NASA website, and they mentioned Jupiter. Baby, they play in our face real good, don't they? I don't care what nobody say. They play in our face real good. Real, real, really, 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 really good. They play in our face real, real good. They do. They really do. They play in our face real good, and we ain't got sense enough how to go looking up nothing to know. So we'll just pay all our money going to the movies. Now, again, though, what's funny to me, who remembers me telling y'all way back when we first started this? I said a lot of people in the church tell you don't read mythology, right? They tell you don't read mythology, but the Catholic Church has all of these beings that we read about in all of their churches. They're everywhere, right? Right? So would you think that reading mythology and not studying it, but just reading it, just flat out how it is, would be looking at something and not being able to actually see what it is? Yet my mother-in-law was raised going to Catholic school. So that's how I was able to back a lot of the information that I was learning here. Oh, didn't even know. But guess what? They go looking for it. That's how they got all the relics. So they know it's real, but they tell us, oh no, don't go looking over there. Just like they played in our face and said Zeus is, I mean, that Suez is Zeus. That's still blowing my mind. I ain't even gonna lie. I said, oh yeah, we got eyes, but we don't see. Something so simple. And all they had to do was change the name a little bit or turn it around, and we wouldn't know where to look. So how much information have they done that with? And because we don't have the other books, right? And we just go off the biblical name, even though several times when they were taken into captivity or they did this and that, they gave them other names. So yeah, the way I bust out laughing when I saw the spelling of Suez and that grandma just passed name was Sue. No. Right. You said there's something called the Suez Canal? Interesting. I know we have the Gulf of Suez in is showing, so I didn't know there was a canal called Suez as well. But it's just Zeus. They played in our face, so. Granny Sue. Granny Sue. I know a few Granny Sues. And I'm Sue Grandma. You see, you had a Granny Sue, and I'm Sue Grandma. You said Nike is Elin. Okay. All right, y'all. Well, y'all got homework to do. Okay. Yeah. I know a ton of Granny Sues. Not a ton, but at least probably 4. Yes. Oh, okay. Well, they called it the Gulf back then. Yeah. But anyway, y'all, I'm about to go. I love y'all. I love y'all.